Hi, my presentation is on the history of Independence Hall in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Background: Independence Hall was originally built to be the Pennsylvania State House. Construction began in 1732 and was completed in 1753. Its role in the Revolutionary era was that Independence Hall was the site of the ratification of the Declaration of Independence. On July 4, 1776, Congress ratified the text of the Declaration. 56 men from all 13 colonies signed this document. After listing the unalienable rights of all men, the Declaration listed 27 grievances against King George III and concluded with, quote, "These united colonies are, and of right ought to be free and independent states." Independence Hall was also where the United States Constitution was debated, drafted, and signed. The National Convention lasted from May to September 1787 and was presided over by George Washington. On June 21, 1788, New Hampshire became the ninth state to ratify it, making it effective in March 1789. The Constitution established a separation of power between the legislative, executive, and judicial branches of government, and it established two houses of the legislature: the Senate, giving two senators to each state, and the House of Representatives, which gave proportional representatives to each state based on population. The building itself has undergone many restorations, most recently by the National Park Service in 1950, returning it to its 1776 appearance. There are different interpretations of what the Constitutional Convention accomplished. For many, the Constitution established a perfect balance of powers, as it established the executive, legislative, and judicial branches with checks and balances between them, ensuring that no one branch dominates the other. In addition, with no established church and the barring of a religious test, this allowed the convention to achieve unanimity on the very hot topic of religion. To Madison and the Federalists, the Constitution represented America's greatest providential deliverance since the military victory over Britain. However, for many, the Constitutional Convention marked a monumental missed opportunity for the founders. During the Revolutionary War period, slavery was legal in all the states, and there was 500,000 slaves living in America. The Constitutional Convention delegates, sadly, voted to protect slavery. They gave slaves three-fifths representation in the House, which strengthened Southern states' representation. Furthermore, importing slaves could not be prohibited until 1808. Taxes on imported slaves were capped at $10 a slave, and runaway slaves were to be returned to their masters on demand. First recorded opposition to slavery came on February 18, 1688, at a meeting of Quakers in Germantown, Pennsylvania. They argued that we who profess that it is not lawful to steal must likewise avoid to purchase such things that are stolen, i.e., slaves. In the 18th century, Quaker Anthony Benezet continued the call to end slavery. He argued that slavery was inconsistent with the doctrines of Christ and recounted with the horrible conditions in which slaves were captured, transported, and treated. Later anti-slavery advocates built on Benezet's arguments. Jonathan Edwards, Jr., a Northern evangelical Calvinist, declared that the colonists were so focused on defending their own rights, and yet, quote, "we have been so inattentive to our own conduct enslaving the Negroes." The anti-slavery advocates began to make a difference. Vermont banned slavery in 1777, followed by gradual emancipation laws in the remaining northern states. Sadly, the southern states held fast to their use of slaves, and Juneteenth had to wait almost a century to come to pass. I am personally planning a trip to Philadelphia in the summer of 2026 to Independence Hall to be a part of the 250th anniversary celebration of the Declaration of Independence. Thank you for listening.